Hello, America. Hey, this is Dean Barwick, your host for the Money Talk Show. Hey, listen, we're back again today, and I'm really excited. This particular segment that we're doing, all of the segments are very important. This is part 5 of Social Security maximization, how to get the most out of your lifetime benefit. But in part 5, we're dealing with protecting the survivor's benefit. So before we go forward, let me just tell you a little bit about myself and our company real quick. I am the president and founder of Acquire Capital Management, Inc., a registered investment advisory firm here in the state of California. And of course, if you have any questions about any of the topics or things that we cover in any of these broadcasts, hey, go to the Money Talk Show, put your question in there. If you're in California, it'll be me that answers or one of my staff, or you can go right to our website, which is listed right here. It's acquirecapitalinc.com, and request an answer as well. And anyway, we do all of our broadcasts through the Money Talk Show. And the Money Talk Show broadcasts, of course, all over the world through the internet, and of course, all 50 United States. So if you're in one of the other states where we're not licensed in and you'd like to talk to an advisor, go to the Money Talk Show. They've got a great advisor referral program. Have any questions, ask right through there. They'll take care of you. And just want to say they do sponsor financial education workshops all over the United States. They're really great. It's a great resource. I recommend you do take advantage of that. Okay, hey, let's go right into today's segment, protecting the survivor's benefit. Now, you know, the death of a spouse during a retirement can produce a significant financial strain. More than 70% of all elderly persons with incomes below the poverty level are women. Now, more than half of those elderly widows now living in poverty were not poor before the death of their husbands. So it's really important to look at this. We need to focus and really pay close attention to this. And I hope today I'm sure there are, but any of the women out there who are listening to this, if you have any questions, please contact us through the Money Talk Show. You know, one of the segments or series, we're actually planning it right now and putting the slides together and all the material. And that is a series on empowering women. So many times it's the husband who has a financial advisor or stockbroker or insurance agent that he deals with. But the women sometimes are out of the loop, and it should not be that way, because the truth is, men, the statistics show they outlive us. So we have to make sure they are comfortable with understanding the way things are set up. And, you know, if you're dealing with a financial advisor, men, you got to make sure your wife is comfortable with that individual. She may not know all the same stuff you do, and I understand that. I am a married man, and, you know, my wife will say to me, we're getting a little sidetracked here, but she'll say, Dean, I don't think you're supposed to do that. And I say, listen, you don't understand. She says, Dean, I know, but I don't feel right about that. Sure enough, 3 months later, she was right, I was wrong, and I knew all about it. So that's just a side note, but men, if your wife is not comfortable with who you're dealing with, find someone she will be comfortable with and involve her in the strategy as much as possible so she understands that. So anyway, women, if you're listening, we have a new series coming out soon called Empowering Women, and it is intended just to do that, just to break down all the financial lingo into plain talk. We try to do that as much as we can here anyway, but we're going to do that a lot in that series to bring you into the understanding so you're not left high and dry in a scenario like this where, you know, maybe your husband passes away before you do. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at this. Now, George and Mary, we're going to look at the George and Mary retirement scenario here. We've been using this very typical average American couple to go through our Social Security maximization. Now, in this particular couple, you have different incomes. George has a pension that he receives $14,400 per year. Mary has a pension where she receives $6,000 per year. George's Social Security income is $30,096 per year, and Mary's is $7,790,000. Now that gives them a total retirement income of $58,286. Now, some parts of the country, that's probably not bad. Probably a lot of people living on that today, maybe less, probably, but I know a lot of my clients are retired and living on a lot more than that. So the principles here are the same, whether you have more than that, you have less than that. Any loss, once you've established a certain lifestyle, is devastating to go through on your finances. So now in their assets, they have a savings account, retirement savings of $150,000. They have CDs of $200,000, different various investments totaling $50,000, and a life insurance death benefit of $25,000. Basically, a burial policy at the most. Anyway, so total assets of $425,000. Now, the Baileys are going to help us to understand the potential problem for Mary and the potential solution. So let's move forward. Okay, now the Mary survivorship scenario. All of a sudden, George's pension is gone. Mary still has hers. She has $6,000 per year. Okay, it's unaffected. The Social Security, Mary gets the higher of the two, which is $30,096 per year, but she loses her portion, which was $7,790. So she's lost both the $14,400 pension, $7,790. So now her annual income has decreased from $58,286 to $36,096. So the household income was reduced by $22,190,000 a year. That is a 38% reduction in income. Now, would this be a concern for you? And I got to tell you, I think it would be. In most scenarios, when somebody passes away, whatever they were eating and whatever their cost for clothing was, does not come close to 38% of the previous annual income. So let's take a look at this and see what we could do to help Mary out in this particular scenario. And we're going to go into this. This is a shorter segment, but I'm going to talk a little bit on this particular slide right here, Mary's income solution. And we're going to talk about annuities, fixed annuities, and some of the riders that they provide, which really can turn somebody's situation around and guarantee a certain income increase for the rest of your life. So we're going to reposition the money from the CD at $200,000, probably wasn't even earning 1% at the time, and we're going to reposition that into a fixed indexed annuity. Well, actually, we would do an indexed annuity now. On this particular slide, it's not showing it as an indexed annuity, and we'll explain that in a little bit. But let's just say a fixed annuity for now. A fixed annuity has no market risk. It doesn't matter whether the market goes up, goes down. You're fixed. It's a fixed product. You don't have to have a securities license to deal with a fixed annuity. Now, in that fixed annuity, however, and by the way, if you get a fixed annuity by itself, 0 fees. There's no fees involved. And you can get rates, 2, 3, 4, 5%, depending on where the rates are at the time, but they're always going to be higher than CDs for the most part. Now, here's the kicker though. You can get a income rider. And a rider is basically an attachment or like an accessory, if you want to look at it that way, to your outfit or to what you're wearing for the evening. It's something that goes along with the annuity. And these income riders will give you a guaranteed income. This one is an income base at 7% for 20 years. So what that means is if you look at it from two buckets, you have the $200,000 you put in, which might be a fixed annuity without the equity index side of it, might be getting 3-4% today. And then you have this income base or this income bucket that's going to grow at 7% for 20 years. Now that is for providing income. Now if you look at this, you've got your income base, which puts in $200,000. Year 3, you've got $228,900. You start withdrawing 5.5%, which is an annual income increase of 12,594%. Now, do you think that would help Mary? That is actually more than half of the money she lost when George passed away. So do you think that might be a help to her? Of course it would. Then you've got in year 6, and this is great because inflation's going up, she's withdrawing 6%. Now you can see over here the income base is still growing. So in year 6, she's withdrawing 6%, and now she's getting $16,831. In year 9, she's still taking 6%, but it's grown. The income base has grown, so she's taking out an additional $20,618 per year on top of her pension and George's Social Security, the survivorship benefit that she got from that. Now, guaranteed income for life, year 12, 6.5%, $27,363 per month. Excuse me, per year, but that'd be great if it was per month. At year 20, she's taking out 7%, $50,631. But if you notice, the income base has grown from $200,000 up to $723,000. Now keep in mind, excuse me, this is not a market-based product. This is simply and we're not showing the fixed index side of this. This is simply the index base, the index, or excuse me, the income base, the income bucket. So it has grown, and she's now taking out 20 years later. She's now taking out 7%, but it's 7% of a much larger amount. It's $50,000 a year, and that's really helping her again with that inflation battle as well. So the CD, which was barely producing 1%, had no guarantees of income or anything like that. We've now created a very creative scenario that not only benefits her after George has passed away, but really gives her a much better scenario, because what she had before was not giving her anything for inflation. Not better that George passed away, but a financial position. In fact, it would have been great if her and George had done this earlier. But that's just something to show you some of the things that can be done. And I think the real thing we're looking at here is that, you know, you've got to look at the fact, men, you got to look at your wives might survive you. And you've got to start making adjustments for that in your financial planning. You've got to deal with a fee-based financial planner who's going to look at that and say, okay, what if? What if all these plans go awry? I mean, you look at this, their life insurance alone was not that high. They only had a $25,000 death benefit. And I mean, some people think, hey, that's okay, I just want to cover me if I pass away. But the survivorship portion of that, you got to realize she's going to lose some Social Security benefit. In this case, she lost his pension benefit. So you really have to have someone look at, what if that happens? How will we handle that? And of course, a scenario here that would have been a lot better for them would have been to maximize their CD rather than leaving it there into some type of an annuity product where it's building that income bucket even before they go into retirement. Anyway, that's another story. We'll get into that later. And let's go to our money question for today. And again, before we go to the money question, if you have any questions, you'd like more information on survivorship, protecting your survivorship benefits, and making sure that you guys are set up for that, contact the Money Talk Show. If you're in California, I'll be happy to talk to you myself. If you're not in California, we will get you an advisor that can sit down. If you're not in California, we'll get you an advisor that is licensed in your state, not that is in California, that can sit down and go over this material with you in a way that you're able to understand that. Okay, let's go to our money question for the day. And I love this money question. Which vice president had the deciding vote to increase Social Security taxation to 85%? Oh, that's insane, right? Which vice president voted that in? Okay, had the deciding vote. So he was he could have said no and it wouldn't have gone through. They needed his vote to pass that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the answer to that question is Mr. Al Gore himself. So we're not getting politically involved here, so I will not say anything else. But he is the guy. That's just common fact. He had the deciding vote to increase Social Security taxation to 85%. Crazy, right? Anyway, hey, this is Dean Barwick. I've enjoyed our time with you today. I hope that this gave you some good information. If anything, just started you thinking about the fact that, hey, if your wife's going to survive you, let's make sure she is fully in on the plan and that you're prepared for her surviving you so that she can still live a good quality of life, and she will not be like these widows who are retiring in poverty because of the fact that they hadn't made those plans for survivorship. So anyway, I hope that got you thinking about that. If you do have any questions, go to themoneytalkshow.com and go to ask a question. They'll get back to you on that. Financial education workshops all over the country. If that's of interest to you, put your information in there. They'll let you know when there's going to be one in your area. And advisor referral, if you would like to have someone talk to you about any of this information, put that in there. Put your zip code and your state in as well, and they will get you hooked up with someone that can take care of you. Hey, until next time, this is Dean Barwick. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.